money, you just get a text or whatever. Just pick up your phone and call the person. And that would be it.
Interesting. All right, sir. So if you are the one who has hacked Uncle Jimi's WhatsApp, return it back because they are coming for you.
I didn't say they are coming for him. I beg, please don't create problem where there's none. I didn't say I'm coming for them.
On behalf of sir, on behalf of you, I want the ethical hackers out there to come and help. We need to.
Kofi, let's move on. It's a small matter.
All right, sir. My name is Kofi Bartels. His name is Mr. Jimi. So we have the Daily Trust up next. Page 6 has some news stories. Tinubu orders reviewing of Vasti governing council's list after protests.
Okay, so let's get down to business. One thing we usually say about the Tinubu government is that they have a listening ear, and therefore usually you find sometimes when there's pressure they tend to backtrack, but at the same time I think that there's a need also for the government to tidy up its own side of things so that these things don't happen one too many times. It's good to be sensitive to what the public is saying, but some are quite embarrassing, because what we had here in the case of the list, the actual list is the imbalance was so embarrassing. While some people got 6 from their states, some got 50. I think Adabayo got 50. They were able to get 50 council members, and Cross River, I think, got 6, and so on and so forth. And this shouldn't have happened. I'm going to say this with a sense of responsibility. I'm going to repeat what I've said. The president needs to change his chief of staff. It's the chief of staff I will hold responsible for the president signing off on things like this. The president usually is an extremely busy man, and is therefore most likely going to be signing off things approved. That is the job of the chief of staff, is the clearing house. But the chief of staff we have here is a politician. It's not his fault, really. He's a politician, and he doesn't have administrative experience. What we know of him was that, okay, he studied law in America, and he's been a politician ever since. A chief of staff should be a seasoned administrator. He can sift all these things. He can go through all kinds of shenanigans. Because see, what happens here is this. Once it has been noticed that the chief of staff is not any better than the president in terms of being distracted, you find people pushing their interests. If you look at President Obasanjo, chief of staff was Ufote Kaite, who was not a politician at all. Yes, he was an administrator. So I'm not saying that he should remove the chief of staff because I have, incidentally he's my cousin anyway. But I think, one second please. But I think that he needs to find a seasoned administrator. It's not a political appointment. It's not an appointment for your trusted ally as such. What you need is this, and that is why we keep getting these embarrassing situations. I mean, I'm glad the president backtracked. I give him credit for that. But to avoid things in future, he does need a seasoned administrator. Yes, we're going
I was about to say, I think Ufote Kaite was secretary to the government of the federation.
Oh, secretary. Sorry. Okay, I'm so sorry. Yeah. I take that correction. Yes.
But I mean, it doesn't take away from what you're saying. You're absolutely right.
It doesn't take away from what I'm saying. And the current chief of staff, he wants to be seen, he wants to be heard, he wants to be at the beck and call of the president. A chief of staff is not the president's ADC. You understand what I'm saying? He's not the one to go and he's not the one to go and meet the president at the airport. And for God's sake, when are we going to stop this habit? The president is going away for 4 hours. Mass of people go to when he's going, they go back to receive him. We should have gone beyond all this. We should have a helipad in Aso Rock. As soon as he lands on his plane, the helicopter takes him and drops him straight in the office, and he goes to work. You see, we waste so much valuable time and get very little. Yes, we waste so much valuable time. The president needs to sit down and ask people outside his political terrain. He should ask people to say that, look, can you get me a seasoned administrator who can hold this fort? To have two politicians in that role is a very dangerous and risky thing. And that is where all this embarrassment comes in.
All right, let's stay with Daily Trust. Page 13, Inside Politics, they call the column. Amid coalition talks, Atiku declares interest in 2027 presidential election.
Well, he's free to do so. He's free to do so. And he says here that the story says that Atiku will continue to vie for the number one office in the land as long as he's alive and healthy. He's free to do so. And it's up to Nigerians, if they want to. Though personally, I think we've just about had enough of all these 40 doddies. Let's look at the Chadian president, very young and virile chap. You saw him yesterday.
Yeah, that's
young. Yes,
I
think we've just about had enough, if you ask me. But he made the revelations and he said, of course I'll keep contesting again and again as long as I'm alive and healthy. And he goes on to say, even the former President Abraham Lincoln contested 7 times. Yes, but this is a country, that needs hands-on. It needs all attention. You can see how President Tinubu is being embarrassed over and over again by not paying attention to detail, which, in all honesty, is difficult for him at his age. Yes, that's why it's difficult for him at his age. And they said this. This what he said is the speculations that he was working on a merger with Peter Obi. Let me read this interesting paragraph credited to Vice President Atiku. He said, "This is to anybody who thinks there is going to be a misunderstanding between me and Obi. Let me assure you that not even a small issue is going to happen between us. Also, we are going to be behind anybody that will be chosen to represent us in the forthcoming elections." So he has an alliance with Obi. Yes, that's what it means. And he says again, "I have made it clear in my previous speeches that if our parties are going to merge to agree on a candidate from the southeast, as long as he is qualified, we will allow it." So that shows you the direction in which it might go.
But this headline is making us think that merger is in the gutter.
No. He said, yes, first of all, he says he's interested. But he also now says that if the parties are going to merge to agree on a candidate from the southeast, as long as he's qualified, we will allow it. And I don't understand this paragraph. It says the 77-year-old who will be 81 in 2027. Oh, okay. By the time he wants to contest in 2027, he will be 81. For the country's next election, also spoke in the video interview about the current crisis on paper. Do you want a president? Do you want? We can't talk about age in this current dispensation because we don't know. We don't know what age our president is. I mean that. Let's flog that issue. But for me, in all honesty, I think it's time Nigeria put its young, give the young people a chance. That is the direction in which other African countries are moving. Look at Chadian man who was installed, was it yesterday or 2 days ago? Young, look at the Senegalese president. They have a completely new perspective. But it's up to us. It's up to us.
But is it not the young man who said he's a white lion and ran away from EFCC in someone's car?
What's that?
That's in Kogi State. That young man.
Because one young person has misbehaved doesn't mean that all young people are like that. They're well-respected young people in this country that can lead the country. Right. Well respected. Right. Well, and when we say young, we don't mean a teenager, really. Anything between like 40 and 60 is fine by me. We have young people, I'm telling you one more time, young people who can lead this country. We can't continue to have pensioners, then we pick humongous medical bills. They're always flying out for one medical thing or the other. Atiku's doctors, to the best of my knowledge, his major doctors are in Dubai. We can't continue to have all this. It's a complete distraction.
But we have young people, and most of the local government chairmen in this country are young people. Go to the State House of Assembly, most of them are young people.
You know that the honest to God truth, if we want to tell ourselves the truth is, local government chairmen are staff of the state government. They're staff. They're not independent. They don't have money to work with. They're getting orders from above. When was the last time you could boast that I think the last local government chairman that I remember that worked, and we could see was Dele, Lagos Island local government in the days of was it SDP or whatever it was, or wasn't the PC or I've forgotten the party. But the young men we have today, they're almost like civil servants. They take orders from the governor. The politicians have refused to allow local governments to thrive. They always block any form of direct getting their money directly has always been blocked by the governors. We sit back and we lap it up.
All right, sir. Let's move to the Nation newspaper, and of course the one that is on everybody's lips. Mohammed Sanusi reinstated as Kano Emirate. Ganduje's frosty ties with Sanusi's on page 4 of the Nation.
Yes, thank you very much. It says, yes, Ganduje, Sanusi, he has not been reinstated because there was a court order halting it. And therein lies another confusion that the politicians are putting us through. It's all politics, really, if you ask me. It's all politics. And when Sanusi was playing lovey-dovey with the president, you see some videos because Sanusi otherwise would have been more vocal and more critical. I knew there was a payback in the pipeline. Oh, yes. If you can read these things. Sanusi would have been more critical, and whatever. But it's part of the politics. It's a pity that we always put politics in the fore. And it's a pity that our elite always put their personal interests in the fore and are not ready to sacrifice anything for the good of the nation. This politics, if you are not careful, will tear Kano apart. Oh, yes. Because now you have to removing Sanusi himself initially was ill-advised, to the best of my knowledge, unless you had a concrete case against him. You divided his empire into 4, whatever. Now you are removing those 4. One of them, and then the man who was the emir, is the prince, the son of also another Bayero. So if care is not taken, only God knows. The story here says that there's a rider in this story, and it says that Bayero himself, he ran away before the dethronement, like sheriff. This way I be sheriff. Sheriff is Jadan Omeho. And it got to a point that even the DSS had to debunk the news that made the rounds that they raided the palace and so on and so forth. Kano will be hot right now. Kano will be hot as we speak, and we shall see what will happen.
But sir, all hell did not break loose when the last man was removed.
Who is that?
That's Sanusi, who is now there. So can we look at that to say, nothing will really go. The two situations
are different, and there's a time lag. Now you are removing 4 people for 1. You don't know how well entrenched they are with their people. Okay, I don't lay claim to knowing the real politics that's going on there, but what I do know is that it's political, and that in itself is worrying. But I saw it coming.
All right, we'll keep our eyes on that one. The commentary section of the Nation is about today on page 21 editorials. Dele Adetiba at 80, welcome to the octogenarian club.
Yes, I was happy that the Nation wrote an editorial on Uncle Dele. I'm glad that we're beginning to recognize people who have contributed a lot, who are not necessarily, I don't know if everybody's a millionaire these days, because some televisions are
1.5 million.
I don't, so he's only a millionaire, but I don't know if he's a billionaire. But it says that and I do love him, so I mean that goes without saying. It says when Dele Adetiba celebrated his landmark 80th birthday this month, there was no doubt about his contributions to broadcasting and advertising in Nigeria. He was, in his words in an interview 3 years ago, the face of television sports. He's a gold. That was the nickname that some of us gave him way back then. He was, in his words, in an interview 3 years ago, the face of television sports, when the world boxing legend Muhammad Ali visited Nigeria in the 1970s, and he got the opportunity to interview him for the NBC at that time. That is an opportunity that I've never had. The most I've done is sit next to World Bank president at a luncheon way back in the 80s, at a time when they were trying to convince us to take the IMF loan. So we ended up arguing.
Typical you.
Yeah, typical. I'm not agree. I'm a shan't agree person. And he says the only Nigerian journalist to interview Ali in a live studio session, he was at the time in the middle of his career. And he said, I discovered new things about Muhammad Ali when I interviewed him in Lagos. So there's his life history, they run through his life history, how he later moved to advertising. He was also MD of Lintas. I remember the good old slogan. They had a sticker then, follow me to Lintas. It's still in my head. You see, the power of advertising. They had the sticker, and he was also one time the chairman of Ikoyi Club. Yes. I'm sure I'd like to ask people what club they think I belong to. They might be surprised to discover that I don't belong to any. And if what I saw, the video that made the rounds recently about some elderly people fighting in one club election, I can't imagine myself being in that. I've seen one or two of my egmons. I'm virtually 70. I've seen one or two of my egmons that were involved in that video. Their grandchildren will see it.
Oh my.
A tribute was published by his brother, journalist Muyiwa Adetibama Aburo, who is older than me. When Uncle Dele turned 70, he said, in all this, it is instructive that he never had to apply for any job. He started as a freelance artist in the NBC, and that was how many started, and was employed when his contributions as well as income had become very noticeable. I hope somebody will write an editorial about me. I need to give them some information.
That'd be great.
Immediately after my first job, I never applied for a job.
Wow.
And I got super duper jobs. Man. Let me say it. Let me blow my own trumpet. If I don't blow it, who will blow it? I'm just joking.
Yeah. We need that book.
You need that book?
Yes, we need that book.
Anyway, they wish him a happy birthday. They list his achievements there. We all wish him a happy birthday. I'm still belching from the nice and still relishing the nice atmosphere of his birthday party. Shall I take yourself?
Yeah, you should take
But your name was what? It was by invitation only.
Sir, I'm here and I'm available next time. I have to go.
Yeah, you have to apply for invitation first.
Okay, sir. No, we'll talk about it after. All right. This is a very sad one, and it's on the page 5 of The Nation. Another journalist arrested in Abuja, picked in the presence of his wife's children. What's going on here?
I don't know how many of us this government is going to deal with decisively. And every time I look over my shoulder these days, I begin to feel some elements of fear. Another journalist has been picked up in Abuja. His name is Madu Onora, and he says that he was whisked away by men of the police force around 6 p.m. and 10 armed policemen. They stormed his house in Lugbe in Abuja in 2 Sienna buses to arrest one journalist. 10. They must have retrieved them quickly as escorts from certain people. Because, why do I say so? He was arrested in the presence of his wife and children, who demanded for the police while they were arresting the head of the family. The police seized Onora's phones, thereby cutting him off from communication with people, including his family members. According to a statement by his management, he was not allowed to even contact his own lawyer or any of his relations because he was whisked away to Lugbe police station by stern-looking operatives. The police have to be careful. This government has to be careful. If they want a war from the press, they will get it. That I'm being very honest. If they want a war from the press, they will get it, and they just don't need it. It's not a threat. It's just that, at some point, because if you keep arresting our members, at some point the press, they will go underground and nobody will find it funny. Even the hardest military government, God bless those guys. And Bayo Ononuga, who is the president's spokesman, he knows what is capable, what his colleagues are capable of, because he knows what he did. And I respect him till today in that regard. What they did, those were the guys who stood up to the military. But I have a funny feeling that all this is being done probably without the full knowledge of the president. Somebody needs to alert him to the fact that it is beginning to appear that he has it in for journalists. Because why would you send, if you want a journalist, if you want me, for example, you don't need to send 10 people to come arrest me. Just a phone call and I'll be there. You don't need all this drama. And then when they got to Lugbe, police station, they just dropped him there. You know, they just dropped him there. He says, to make sure Onora did not get attention or bail, the police who arrested him, though not of the Lugbe police station, simply dumped him at the station and left no traces for friends and families to reach them. This is what the management says. So I'd like to plead with, with those in charge. Maybe I don't know. What I suspect is that individuals are using their closeness with the president to get back at certain persons in the profession. I am not standing up for any journalist who is corrupt. I am not standing up for any journalist who is involved in blackmail, in whatever. What I do know is that even for the optics, this kind of Hitlerite operation, it doesn't do anybody any well.
So that's a strong one, Hitlerite.
Yes, it doesn't do anybody any well. There's all this big drama just to arrest a journalist. You can't frighten people now. Hey, come on, ask the president. They tried to frighten him. He didn't back down.
But he's doing it to other people.
No, you can't say that.
It's him, Uncle Jimmy.
No, I don't know. I don't believe.
No, it's his administration.
Excuse me. I don't believe, in all honesty, from the bottom of my heart, that the president is fully aware.
The buck stops on his table.
It stops on his table, but also I don't believe he's fully aware. Let me tell you what I suspect is happening. Some people close to the president are taking advantage of their closeness to carry out these things. That is what, I don't think Bola Tinubu would tell you, go and arrest a journalist.
So what we know is that the Tinubu administration has arrested and picked up a journalist.
Yes, I know, but I like to say, you brought me here to do analysis. So I'm not issuing a statement, I'm doing the analysis that I don't think that he knows. You get my case now. I don't think that he knows. Because Bola Tinubu would know that this is not going to get him anywhere. I don't think that he knows.
So the ones that have been happening before now.
He is to be held responsible, but I don't think that he knows. You don't want to imagine the number of things that happened that a governor or a president has to take account for, that he doesn't know the origins. That includes murders, it includes kidnappings, it includes all kinds of things. So what a good president should do is that all he needs to do is to issue a general alert. I don't want to hear these kind of things anymore. I don't think he knows.
So his minister, with a bold face in front of the entire world, came out and said that no journalist who has been objective has been arrested under Tinubu's administration. How can you say that?
The minister is not the president. I want to hear the president speak. That is why I don't know why the president is running away from granting interviews. That's where I'm coming. We don't know the mind of our president. I don't know why the president is shying away. If whatever it is, talk to us. Do you understand what I'm saying? Talk to us. I don't know why you got away with it during campaigns and so on and so forth. But now you are the president. You have to talk to us. We have to know what's going on in your mind. This kind of issue would have been taken up with him on a personal front. Then we won't be having this argument. But for now, I don't think that he knows.
It's all right. Let's go to agriculture. Are you interested in meat? Lagos unveils last mile meat shops, butchers academy. I'm seeing a picture of the commissioner of agri.
This is a good development from the Lagos State government. But I hope that it spreads. and that is not only the youth from their party that will benefit from things like this. What do they want to do? The Lagos State government has launched the Last Mile Meat Shops and Butchers Academy as a way to bring comfort to the doorsteps of residents. During the launch, the Commissioner for Agric, Mrs. Olusoya, said the initiative is aimed at giving residents confidence on what they consume. That is, they're going to set up meat shops.
That's a good one.
Okay, and he said, so how is it going to... Okay, she says the meat shops are to be manned by 4 youths. 4 youths per shop.
Nice.
4 youths. That's why I said I hope it's not just party members. And they will be allocated a cow that is slaughtered at the approved government abattoirs and brought to them under hygienic conditions and processes. I don't know if you've noticed recently, if you eat outside, anyway, you probably delicious meals are prepared for you at home. But you do seem to have, if you buy from these small restaurants and average restaurants, the meat has a hidden taste of maybe some meat that is gradually going bad.
Sir, for the past 3 days that I have had to buy food outside.
Yes. I think we mentioned it yesterday.
Complaining. I went to a restaurant somewhere, and the meat, they say it was fried beef.
No.
Little did I know that fried beef is a code for beef that was going bad. They just fried it to keep it from
No, what they do is they fry it and spice it with salt and put onions to help the taste. You see, because what they do is most people now buy cheap meat, cows that are falling dead, dead cows. Do you understand what I'm saying? Dead cows. There was a time even I, as a man, had to go and buy bulk meat from the abattoir. We're gradually poisoning ourselves. So I'm happy at this initiative. I want to beg the Lagos State government to let it spread as much as possible in corner shops everywhere where you can buy fresh meat.
Uncle Jimmy, yesterday I was driving home with my wife.
Yeah.
And she was lamenting. What happened? We saw someone selling meat at a street corner somewhere on a very dirty table. So this guy washed his face. Finished washing his face. And then on top of a gutter. And then now
wait, Kofi, wait. How much do you need? I want to silence your mouth. And then did what?
Now use that hand to touch the meat and carry it and draw. I said, and she said, how can so we are going to buy this meat? And the table was dirty and this is what she's doing is commendable.
Let me be honest with you. We are gradually all eating poison. That's why it's so difficult now for you to say you want to go and eat suya. But that's a story.
Stop buying suya. So you're recommending Lagos State Commissioner for Agriculture for this good initiative, right?
Yes, but I want us to have as many of these as possible.
Yes.
As many of these.
The lady is one of the working commissioners. You know, someone said today, if you're working, you don't need to address the press conference. Just people would speak. Your work will speak.
You can say I didn't say. You know, the newspapers have the ministers' achievements and whatever. I'm not. People are free to go, and I'm not going to be listening to any.
You didn't put my man Wike's.
I'm not going to listen to any.
There's a light trail in Abuja.
The only two ministers that I think are, so far visibly are doing. Omahi is one. The interior minister is another. The rest.
Wike.
I don't know.
Have you been to Abuja recently?
I'm not. I'm not impressed by aesthetics. I would like to look at the core.
Flyover 1, flyover 2, flyover 3, flyover 4. Uncle Jimmy, we have to go. We're having you back at 9 o'clock.
Yes, Mr. Sawyer, Akitude Sawyer, we still spoke yesterday, is going to come and give us how to access the students' loan. Finish.
All right.
How to access, so all of you get ready.
No politics.
So, no politics.
All right.
There's a time for all that.
You've announced that since yesterday.
Yes, no, because
have to go,
I don't want us to have an argument on whether we should have it or not. Yes, just how to access it. Yes.
It's 8 o'clock. The news update on 99.3 Nigeria Info. 99.3 Nigeria Info. We are more than just radio. Subscribe to our YouTube channel at Nigeria Info FM. Check us out on Facebook at Nigeria Info 99.3. Follow us on Twitter at Nigeria Info FM and on Instagram at Nigeria Info FM Lagos for live updates as it happens. 99.3 Nigeria Info. Let's talk.